We are celebrating my daughter's birthday over here at the Making Something house, and she wanted an Arctic animal theme party, including a piñata. To see some of the things I put together for her party, check out the description or head over to my channel. But this is She's Making Something, and I'm going to make my own Arctic Fox Pinata. I found this cute build your own fox craft at the Simple Mom Project, and my daughter loved it. So I decided to use it as a template to make my own Arctic Fox Pinata. It's free on their website. I put a link in the description, and I used the same little fox on the goodie bags for the party. But to bake the pinata, the first thing I did was trace the fox onto a sheet of paper and reworked a few lines to make the pinata a little wider so it would be more stable. But now I have the shapes I need, and I'm going to cut them out of the cardboard. I used some measuring tape to measure my little shapes on the paper, and then upped all the measurements by about 3 times and slowly redrew them onto the cardboard, drawing and measuring and drawing until I was happy that it was close enough to the original. Then I cut it out using a box cutter, and since I need 2 for a front and back of the pinata, I just traced what I already cut out, and then I had a second one the exact same shape. I also cut out 4 feet and 2 tail shapes. To help keep some of the lines clean later when I cover it with tissue paper, I also cut out a face and some front legs. After cutting out all the cardboard, I realized that my plan for the feet was not going to put together the way I wanted to match the shape of the Build-A-Fox craft, and if I was going to do it again, instead of cutting the foot out separate, I would add the foot shape onto my main outline and then cut it out with the feet already there. But I did not have enough cardboard to recut it, so I'm just going to glue and tape the feet onto my main shape and make that work. So after some hot glue and masking tape, I finally have my main pinata shape, and it is time to add the sides. I have some long strips of cardboard that are 4 inches wide and cut so that the corrugation inside the cardboard makes it easy to roll up. And I roll up all the strips to help make them super bendy and more pliable to work around the edges. Using a tissue box to hold up one of my pieces, because that was nearby and just happened to be 4 inches tall, I use wide masking tape, and a lot of it, to secure the side piece in place, keeping it even with the edge, bending, taping, bending, and taping until it wraps all the way around. Because my pinata is on the large side, I took some extra side strips and glued them to the middle of the inside to act as supports, and then added an extra layer of cardboard to add more strength where the strings will be, because this is where the pinata is going to hang from, and the entire weight of the pinata is resting on this one section of the cardboard right there. It's easiest to add the strings when the pinata is open than trying to thread them through after it's all closed up. Then I repeat the entire taping process to attach the back of the pinata. A note to my future self, it probably would have gone a little easier if I matched up the more complicated edges first and saved the long smooth sides for last. But now I have my main pinata shape all taped up and ready to go, and did the same process for the tail pieces, but used smaller 2-inch strips for the sides of that and much less tape, basically making a second, smaller, weaker pinata that will attach onto the back of my main pinata. The next step is to cover the whole thing in white paper. I'm using the same roll of white banner paper that I used to cover the igloo for the party. And after tracing the shape I need and leaving a 1 to 2 inch overhang, and I need 2 pieces because I've got 2 sides of the pinata, I attach it using some watered down white school glue. Just paint on the glue and the paper sticks to the moisture and then dries nice and stiff. I cut the overhanging part into sections and then fold those down over the sides, covering the back the same way. And then I glue some strips that are a little less than 4 inches on the sides to finally cover all of it and clean it up a little. Again, doing the same process with the tail, but I don't bother with the side strips because the overlap covered those fine, and it wasn't really necessary. I also covered only one side of the face and leg pieces with the white paper, And the whole reason for the paper is so the colors of the piñata show up brighter and cleaner on top of white than the brown of the cardboard. Everything is now white, and it's time for the traditional piñata fringe. I found these packs of tissue paper at Target, which had the perfect white and gray colors I needed. Arctic foxes are mostly white, but my daughter and I thought that having a gray base and white accents would look better than an all-white fox. Each row of fringe on the piñata is actually 2 layers of tissue paper cut on a fold, so I cut all the tissue paper into rough 4-inch strips and then folded them in half, sometimes making use of the fold that was already there to save time. Then went along the folded side of each strip, cutting almost to the end, but still leaving it intact. I leave all the tissue paper still in a stack because it's thin enough that my scissors can cut through them all at once, and it saves a ton of time. Once all my tissue paper has been cut, I gently pull out each sheet, and after doing this for all 3 of my colors, I have a nice pile of fringe ready to be put on the piñata. So I followed my daughter's instructions for the coloring of this piñata. So my fox has darker gray paws, a gray body, and a white tummy. So I just cut my strips down to the right size according to this pattern, and I attached them using the same watered down glue that I used to attach the white paper. I painted on just a single line of glue and then placed the uncut edge of the tissue paper on that line, sometimes pushing the top layer up so that both layers stick to the glue. By pushing that top layer up a little bit, this also gives the added bonus of giving the fringe a little lift, making it pop out a little instead of lying exactly flat, and I like that look better. After doing the front, including using the slightly darker gray for the tips of the ears, as I was told, I did the sides and then the back, sticking to the pattern of darker gray on the paws and ear tips, and the lighter silver gray everywhere else. I bought 2 packs of the tissue paper because I wasn't sure how much I would need, but I only needed 1 pack, which had about 20 sheets total between all 3 colors, so about 6 or 7 sheets per color. So actually not a lot of tissue paper was needed for this project, which is great for the budget. After the body was done, I moved on to the tail and tried to add a little zigzag edge to the white tip, but it's hard to notice it. I covered the face piece with all white tissue paper, and also the front legs with the silver and darker gray. With these pieces, I really did not want to lose the definition of that shape. So after they were covered, I trimmed the tissue paper around the shape, added some extra glue where some pieces were loose after cutting. But this way, the shape of the face is still clearly visible, even with the fringe. To finish off the face, I cut eyes and a nose from black construction paper, and after adding the white light spots in the eyes, I used hot glue to attach them to the face piece. And then even more hot glue to attach the cute little face to the main piñata. More paper and hot glue to add white paw prints, and the upside down hearts for the ears. When I attached the front leg pieces, I tucked the top of them underneath a layer of tissue paper so it wouldn't break up the flow of the fringe, and then secured the bottom with more hot glue. When I went to attach the tail, I realized I would get a stronger connection if all that tissue paper wasn't in the way. I had left a part of the tail uncovered, but I had to rip some tissue paper off the body and used a lot of hot glue to attach it at the back and around the edges of the tail. The very last thing to do is cut a secret flap in the back so I can fill it with candy. And there is my Arctic Fox piñata. My daughter loved it, I had a lot of fun making it, and each kid got multiple turns whacking it to pieces at the party. Leave a comment and a like if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe to get notified the next time I'm making something. Thanks for watching.